Minister of General Affairs, I was graced with a meeting with the Integrity Chamber of St. Martin. The newly established Integrity Chamber of St. Martin held an introductory meeting with me on Thursday, January 16th. Present were the three current members, Mrs. Rian Vogels, President or Chairperson, Mr. Raphael Bosman, Member, and Mr. Hans Lodder, Member. The two latter members were appointed by St. Martin, while Ms. Vogels was appointed jointly between the Netherlands and St. Martin. The director of the Secretariat, which has been established since last year, of the Integrity Chamber is a homegrown local young lady called Miss Sharna Pompier. I am extremely pleased and proud to have been sitting in meetings with Miss Pompier over the past couple of weeks since swearing in as Minister of General Affairs. And I must say that it is good to see our young people. We often talk about young people in St. Martin, professionals not being able to find work. While having worked in previous departments here in St. Martin, she has now moved over to be basically the top administrator, the Secretary General for the Integrity Chamber, and is the one that actually set up the office in the absence of the members being formally appointed. So while Mr. Bosman and Mr. Lodder have been appointed by St. Martin since the beginning of 2019, Mrs. Vogels, a former senior judge with years of judicial background as well as mediation, has been appointed as its first president in December of 2019 via Kingdom Decree upon binding recommendations of the two St. Martin members, and has recently assumed office as of January 2020. Discussed in the meeting were, among others, the structure of the Integrity Chamber along with its core tasks, which include advising on integrity matters, both solicited and unsolicited, conducting investigations into suspected integrity violations, and to continuously create awareness about integrity in the community. I mean, we can talk about what our civil servants do or what our elected or appointed members do within St. Martin society. But as we all know, our elected as well as appointed and our civil service is a reflection of the community on the whole. So if we want to see improvements, we actually have to improve across the board. So this body is not only there to police or to give advice. We are actually hoping that we can raise the integrity level if necessary, because I think awareness of what is integrity is something that was started back in 2012-13 and then dropped. There was an integrity bureau right here in the government of St. Martin, and based on what I have done in terms of research, that will receive the necessary attention as well, because that is also necessary internally as government to be able to effectively deal with any integrity breaches, suspected integrity breaches, etc., and how they will be handled. So by this, I can remind the persons who were in that time appointed by department to be the person of contact. They will be contacted again, and we will do everything within our power to improve our internal integrity system, awareness, understanding by our civil service and the general public, using, of course, the Department of Communications, and, of course, the Integrity Chamber of St. Martin will be doing their part from their outside office to bring awareness as well. So it has the cooperation of the Council of Ministers, along with any further assistance for the finalization of it, and the training and the reassignment of the so-called, we call them in Dutch, vertrouwenspersonen or confidants for the ministries will take place as soon as possible. Any extra information or the implementation of the Integrity Chamber was the result, just to remind the people of St. Martin, an agreement that was made in 2015, I believe, between the governments of St. Martin and the Netherlands to establish an independent body. There was quite a dispute at the time as to how that chamber should look. And at this point, now we've reached to the point where, yes, St. Martin does have 2 members which we have appointed independently, and the third member, being the chair, was jointly appointed by the Netherlands and St. Martin. The agreement had to come from those members. So this is needed, or was needed, seen as needed back then, to improve and enhance integrity and ultimately confidence in government and in the country overall. So definitely it will not hurt and can only improve the way we deal with persons. You will probably see then a decrease in complaints going to the Ombudsman. You will see a decrease in several situations. And as Minister mentioned just now, moving forward, we hope to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of government on the whole. So finding ways to build morale and see us all seeing each and every one as civil servants, seeing themselves as an important cog in the wheel of the machinery of government will be tantamount to making the sustainable changes that we would like to see as government and, of course, a society of St. Martin.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Like to take the opportunity, Mr. Chairman, to commend the General Audit Chamber for the work that they have done over the last 10 years. They've built a very sound, a very reputable institution of which we all can be proud. And they've provided constantly information to the public, as well as submitted their reports to Parliament and to government. And I have made, as a parliamentarian and even before being a parliamentarian, very good use of the information that the General Audit Chamber provided over the years. I have been following the information that they submitted to Parliament, and if I'm not mistaken, I've not seen their reports being discussed as such on the floor of Parliament, and I would want to encourage Parliament to make better use of the hard work and the information that the General Audit Chamber accumulated over the year when making their report, so that Parliament can do the work that they've been doing, and that is to supervise the work of government. The General Audit Chamber has been without a chairman for about 5 months, and I think the sooner this appointment can be finalized, it would be the better for the chamber. And before us, there are 2 strong candidates that are being nominated, and this nomination, as indicated, will be sent to the governor, and I anticipate that the governor's decision will fall on the better of the 2 candidates. And I would want to wish the one that is appointed much success and that he will continue to do the good work and that the chamber has started, and that he will continue to take the chamber of the auditing chamber to even a higher level. I wish him much success.
We have the advice of the Central Committee with 2 names of the candidates for the position. Because it concerns appointments of persons, we would have had to vote with ballots on this position as prescribed by Article 70 of the Rules of Order. I say we would have had to. In accordance with Article 75, Paragraph 2 of the Constitution, the nomination can only be approved with at least 2/3 of the votes of sitting members of Parliament. 2/3 of the present sitting members amounts to 10. We have only 9 members present, so therefore we cannot proceed with the voting, and I hereby adjourn the meeting until next time.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
How are you doing this morning?
Good.
So, Rebecca, thank you for coming. I work as a psychologist at the Mental Health Foundation. I mainly see children and adolescents, but I also see adults. So whenever there's a crowd, that's when you're starting to feel
Nervous.
Okay.
Nauseous.
Okay. It is kind of like your body. We are so used to taking care of our body. If we have a little ache in our foot, we know to rest it. We know, okay, I might have walked too much, so I need to rest. Now, of course, that can be just an ache in my foot, but I can also break my leg. Now, for breaking my leg, I would have to go to the doctor. So that kind of goes the same for mental health illnesses. So you can come in for something little as, I'm really stressed out lately. What would you need? A little bit of rest. But someone can also come in with way more difficulties. We're not here to judge right or wrong, good or bad. Is it helpful for you? Fine. Is it not helpful for you? Okay, then let's see what we can do about it. But not a wrong nor right, absolutely not. It's a magnifying glass without judgment.
Well, there's still a lot of stigma on the island, unfortunately. It's not a topic that people easily talk about, and that's a shame. They're afraid that they get judged, and there is still quite a bit of judgment. I mean, often we hear, don't go to that crazy house. Once you go in, you never go back. And it's just not true, We treat a lot of patients here, and a lot of them, we get back on their feet.
Our goal at the Mental Health Foundation is for us to help you improve your life, for you to live a better, happier, and fuller life.
On Wednesday last week, January the 16th, I participated in the YVO, which is the Justice Four-Party Meetings in Curacao. As many of you know that the 4 justice ministers meet twice a year, so from St. Martin, Aruba, Curacao, and also the Netherlands. And we have different discussions in relations to strengthening the cooperation on all levels in the justice field between all the countries. The purpose of these meetings is to come to an effective, joint, coordinated approach to common matters, issues concerning the criminal justice chain of the 4 countries. Topics on the YVO agenda were all concerned justice matters falling under the portfolios of the various ministers, including organized crime prevention, cross-border law enforcement, border control, the prison system, data sharing and protection, and information technology. Justice Ministers Girigori of Curacao being the host of the YVO this time, Mr. Ferdinand Grapperhuis of the Netherlands, and Dean Baker of Aruba, and I discussed annual plans in the budget for the Joint Court of Justice and the Prosecutor's Services and the common or shared justice entities, for example, the Kingdom Detectives. Given the fact that the draft budget 2020 has not been approved as yet, I could not make certain commitments and agree to certain things in anticipation of us adapting the budget. We were also given an update on valuable work and progress of the several work groups within the YVO on specific justice issues like improving the strengthening of our borders and or improving personal data protection legislation. The latter is especially important to fully effective share police and other data between the countries. In this regard, it is essential that St. Martin set up a data protection commission. This must be an independent and knowledgeable commission which has to supervise the compliance of government and the private sector with regards to personal data protection laws. New initiatives like restorative justice and more meaningful daytime activities for prisoners like e-learning were discussed and will be worked on to elaborate more from Aruba's side, and we would also adapt it in the follow-up meeting. Pertaining to information technology, it's good to note that St. Martin, again, is fully associated with the SBIR and is expected that Aruba will shortly follow suit. This IT organization will serve, of course, and be financed by all 4 countries within the kingdom, as always intended. It is good to hear that SBIR has accepted and appointed the St. Martin representative in its supervisory board, thus enabling St. Martin, together with Curacao and the Netherlands, soon also Aruba, as I mentioned, to co-decide on deployments of the SBIR resources in its activities and the long-term vision for law enforcement. It's also good to note, I had a meeting with the representatives from the SBIR, and they requested that we send individuals to partake in a course that has to do with cybercrime. So not only prevention, but also when you get an attack, how to deal with it. We all know that we, as a government, have been attacked by several cyber attacks. So I found this very important, especially for the Ministry of Justice, which I will be sending 4 representatives from 4 various departments within the justice chain to participate in this training. And when they return, they will enlighten their other colleagues within the justice chain as well. This will take place next month. I can also inform you that because it has been agreed in the YVO that the Council of Law Enforcement will evaluate several agreements between Aruba, Curacao, St. Martin, and Holland that regulate the use of each other's detention capacity. Of course, we all know we have that issue here right now. Before and after the YVO, I also had some courtesy bilaterals with the Justice Minister Girigori, Grapperhuis, Baker, and also the Minister of Kingdom Relations, Mr. Knops. I can also say that all the ministers were very satisfied with the course of the JVO meeting. These biannual meetings to jointly discuss and seek for solutions in various justice issues and challenges we have are very common in the justice scene, which will lead with all players, and we also help the weakest link, so we fill in where the others are lacking, and that's the main purpose of all these meetings. We are all struggling with limited financial means, material, and human capacity within the islands. To strengthen this chain on a national level and with the sister islands, it is important that we stand united because, as I stated there as well, united we stand and divided we fall.
Hi, what's up, St. Martin? My name is Rene Leverett, and I play baseball. And I've represented St. Martin in numerous international tournaments and professionally around the world. Sports matters to me because it reveals and develops character. So I challenge the business community to step up for sports and help us rebuild and repair our facilities. I also ask the community to nominate local businesses in your area to take the challenge and step up for sports. Because hashtag sports matters, hashtag are you in?
I would like to say on the behalf of TELEM that it has always been a pleasure working with Mr. Rood and his crew as there are some, where I live basically, I live next to a family member. So I see them doing the preparations, I see them running up and down, and the day of the show or the couple of days before the show, I can tell, so I know how much work it is to engage in such a event. TELEM, I've been at TELEM not quite 8 years, but it's been a while, and I've always supported this aspect because I think that, first of all, Carnival is a very important cultural event for the island. That's one. And secondly, Carnival should be an affordable event for the island. I know that in the last few years, ticket prices have gone a little higher as the promotions have been, higher level bands. But we try to support Mr. Rood in that aspect that would allow him to keep the tickets at a nominal fee, especially if you take advantage of his early bird specials that would allow anyone to be able to enjoy the show. I can remember when we spoke about the dance floor. You came and ran that out there by me. And I remember that the Carnival Committee at the time, not the Carnival Committee, my excuses, the SOG, yes. SOG at the time was very skeptical about it, as they thought it would damage the tiles. That's how far back we go. That's how far back we go. So, of course, now being a Carnival lover myself, I always support any aspect that blends the culture of the Caribbean into one show, and I think that Night of the Hitmakers does that and surpasses that. So as a representative of TELEM and the TELEM crew, my TELEM family, we are pleased once again to support you in this event, and we will continue to support you until either we don't do this no more, or Carnival stop, which I think ain't gonna happen.
So that clear.
Makers, as everyone knows, is our flagship show. It's on it kicks off one of the crazy weekends we have this carnival coming. Get your dancing shoes. I'm excited. I'm like, okay, where's my ticket? Definitely I want to get in the list of artists performing. It's always phenomenal. I always like to thank Mr. Rood for being one of those that helps set the different themes of concerts in Carnival, even though it can be mixed up in the genres. This is a different concept. And since then, you can see that we have developed many great concepts in Carnival. Congratulations to the Extra Tight team, of course. I could close my eyes and know that it will be a great show, as it always is. And for those who have not, by any chance, ever experienced a Hitmakers concert, this would be the great year to start. It's definitely an experience unlike anything else. And right after that, we are happy because right after that, we have a new concept also in the village called the Last Man Standing. And then after that is Juve morning. And so we get into the whole salad of carnival and costume and revelry and a good time. And Hitmakers is, he's kicking, yeah. So that is one of the weekends, great to fly in. So please tell your friends and families, it's a great weekend to fly in to St. Martin. You would get a great amount of the concerts in one short area. And of course, Juve. So Mr. Roon, congratulations to the team. Tell them, of course, always a great partner in Carnival, all over the board, I must mention. And let's have a great one. I think we need to buy new shoes this year.
Yeah.
And gentlemen, are you ready? Extra Tight Entertainment presents Telcel Night of the Hitmakers. Saturday, April 25th, Carnival Village. The dance floor is back. Featuring St. Martin's very own Tones Band. Comba Sensations Harmonique. Also featuring Aruba hitmaker Claudius Phillips. Get ready for Soca meets Booyah, the original Burning Flames.